So what we're going to do, welcome to Coffee and Tea with Lev and Dean. That is Lev. I'm Dean. Lev remembers .substack.com, dean.blundell.substack.com. That's where you can find us. The chat is for paid subs, but the free subs, we are so grateful. This is for everybody. We don't ever want to shut off access to the content that we're doing. We never want people to not be able to access the kind of conversations that we think are important. We're going to have kind of a free form conversation today. And here's the other beautiful thing is that if you are one of our paid supporters, this is a very special Q&A for you. So what we want you to do is get your questions in. Any question, doesn't matter. It could be a Blue Jays question. It could be a question just for Lev. One of the questions that someone asked in the Substack that we started and stopped because fits and starts. We'll figure this out as we go. Moving that Friday to a Saturday. We usually used to do a weekly roundup. What we're going to do now is just a free form Saturday tea and coffee with Lev and Dean. But one of the questions they asked was just to start, and I laughed. He's like, "Is Trump secretly smart, or is he as dumb as we think he is?" We'll get to that. We'll get to a bunch of other questions, and we'll talk. I want to talk about Elon Musk today. I want to talk about the beautiful people in Florida today. I want to talk about the lack of Canadians in Florida that I experienced this last weekend. Because, dude, like I was down there. We just kind of covered this when we started. Come on in, everybody. We'll kind of take our time here.
Yeah.
But I just spent like 3 days down there visiting a friend who was in need. So, I put my boycott aside. I took my boycott hat off. I put it down. And I went down to the Orlando area, which is about 3 hours north of where you are, I think, 3-4 hours. And I got to tell you, I was reminded, and I said this earlier for everybody who's just joining the chat again, or maybe for the first time, I was reminded of why I love Americans so much. Like, just the most loving, kind, considerate, helpful, conversational. And granted, I mean, when they found out I was a Canadian, it was a very different conversation, had some heavy conversations. But like even union workers, like the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, talked to a couple of those guys who were attending a conference. We were at the same restaurant as them. They found out I was from Canada because the Jays game was on, and I'm cheering for the Jays. They're cheering for the Jays. They were so incredibly kind, and they also didn't understand, like, which got me. They're like, we don't understand why you still like us. We're embarrassed by President Trump. We're embarrassed by what's going on down here. And I said to the person that I was sitting next to, who also ran some kind of conference center, I said, "Well, we still love you, but it's just a little weird for us, right? It's just a little weird right now because we don't feel like giving the United States money because we know what Donald Trump is doing to you. So that boycott is for you." And then he asked why I was here. I said, "I'm supporting a friend." And my friend is a MAGA guy, was a MAGA guy, right? Like, that was the interesting part is there were so many people that I talked to that voted for Trump. They're like, but we didn't vote for this. So,
Yeah.
it was a wild visit, just fell back in love with people in the United States. So absolutely.
I'm really happy you had a really good experience because unfortunately not everybody's getting that experience. What he's doing, the division that he's caused in a lot of places where, like you said, I mean, the fact that we're even talking. Just think of it. The fact that you're even mentioning that you're from Canada and you're surprised that you were liked. I mean, just think you were surprised that you're liked
I
in
totally
Florida
was, dude.
and Disney World and the place, magical world, Disney World. Like, are you? This is what we've come down to. If you were not liked in Disney World, Dean,
Yeah.
we then we have even a bigger problem. But let's break it down for a second. I mean, just think about it. Canadians you're called snowbirds down here in Florida
Yeah.
because most of the Florida population prior to COVID and all of this was all of mostly Canadians, northeastern,
Mm.
people from the snowbirds from New York, Michigan. That's what the economy was based on. Now Florida has changed obviously after COVID and after the inflection of becoming more of a red state. You've had a lot of Canadians that have left Florida because since DeSantis has come in here. But overall, the one thing that I think we should take from what you experienced, and even though it could have been something that a one-off, or could have been something that we're seeing that's playing out in the country, it's hard to say because you didn't come to do a study; you came to Disneyland. So we're happy that you had a good experience here as a Floridian. But the one thing I think we should take away is that I don't think the president of our country really represents our country. doesn't represent the views of the voters, doesn't represent the views of the majority of the country, and doesn't represent any unification of our
Yeah.
country. He represents division. He represents, only a small part, a group of white nationalist Christian values.
Hmm.
He doesn't hide it. He's built a team around him. That's one of the things I wrote in my letter today. My morning letter when I wrote up that this is not some sort of accident that is taking place that we're seeing play out. You have to understand, in Donald Trump's world, he breaks it, he fixes it. That's he
And
pretends to
claims he's
fix
the
it
guy.
and
Yeah.
claims the guy. I mean, that was the whole in 2015. I remember when we just started playing it. That was like in a simplified form of doing it. Now you have people like Russell Vought, Stephen Miller, Susie Wiles, people that are capable of actually running these institutions, cutting them. And plus, remember, when you talk about the Project 2025, we talk about Russell Vought, we talk about Stephen Miller, but there's over 100 Federalists. It's the Federalist Society. You're talking about a lot of people with a lot of very, very interesting views and very powerful views, and that have a lot to say, that have put together what we're seeing play out. So again, I'm glad you were able to have fun at
Oh,
Disneyland, but I think in an overall, I'll tell you, the crazy part is, if you just think about this. We're planning on right now celebrating 250 years, and I write it in my Substack today. They were supposed to be the beacon to the world, proof that free people can build something fair, decent, worthy of imitation. And yet here we are, a federal shutdown hanging over the kitchen tables, families bracing to lose the little help they rely on, insurance pricing rising, paychecks being stretched, the basic stability treating like a bargaining chip.
mhm,
Really? Is this the
mhm.
America? Is this the America that, like you said, that as a Canadian, that you have to come and think, oh, I'm here at Disneyland with my family, and wow, thank God there was no instance I was like, because it doesn't feel like it. And most Americans wake up and Canadians say don't feel like it. But what I want to say, and this is is very important message that I want to start off with, that this is not coincidence, and it's not a
Mhm.
mistake. This is all part of a plan that started a while back, a plan that's been fine-tuned as it went along, and a plan that right now is being played out. Because the one thing, and this is a little heavy news, we're going to start off right off the bat, but I think we need to, because it's important, because this is what's being played out, and it's important to what's taking place in our country. Yesterday, if you saw play out, and everybody was excited that the courts shut down Donald Trump and said, "Listen, you can't play with the SNAP program. You can't starve these. That's not a
A judge said
bargaining
you
chip."
can't starve our people.
Correct.
Yeah.
You got. We have funds there. We have
Mhm.
emergency funds. Go hit that fund. Go bring it out. The one thing the media didn't talk about, and what I want to, because at Love Remembers, and I know with you, Dean, very important, we always talk about is watch behind the scenes and why it's being played out. So now you're telling me that we have reserves, we have actual funds, we have emergency funds, and all of this set up for instances like this to make sure they starve. So you're telling me that, but that means that the Democrats know about this, Republicans know about this. So that means that these people that are standing there, both sides that are preaching that they both know that there are ways, yes, that they might still do certain shutdowns, but at least, we're not going to starve our young kids and elderly and people in need. We're not going to cut off, certain medical needs, because we have things in place. And this is an important part, because Donald Trump and his people know that. So what happens? He puts out a post yesterday for the whole world to see. In it, he writes, he says, the courts are confusing me. One court says you can't do it. One court says you could do it. The Democrats shut down the government. What I'm going to do as your savior is I'm going to instruct my lawyers to go figure out how we could save and pay and make sure that with these starving people. Now, just think about what just happened there. Think about how he just turned that whole shit around, how he played it all out, and how he basically gave you, and the Democrats are standing there like that. What are they holding? They're like, what just happened here? Hold on a second. Now, Donald Trump tomorrow is going to announce that he is giving money to all of these people, and these people, because of some fund that that he was forced to do. But it's not going to play out that he was forced to do it. It's going to play out that he did it, and this is a
Yeah,
perfect example.
that he was the guy that, I mean, you nailed it at the start. Like, you break it, you fix it, you claim you're the fucking man. That's exactly what he,
And
can
that's
I read the Truth
yeah,
Social tweet? I'll
yeah.
read it to you.
Please, yeah, please,
So
please go ahead.
keep in mind, this is from the President of the United States, Donnie 2 Weeks, who has been threatening to starve 42 million people until he's allowed to take away their Medicaid. So just put that in the as the umbrella for this conversation. He did this. He threatened not to feed the hungriest people in the United States of America. Then he puts out this tweet after a judge, to your point, which was hilarious to me. Judge was like, yeah, there's lots of money in that fund. There's a contingency fund, which, by the way, apparently there's a tariff shelf that doesn't exist when there's hungry people. But he said, you got to pay the people. The judge is like, you need to feed the people. There's money there. And he was forced to do it. So he's already on the stick, right? Is that Cheech? Is that
That's
my guy Cheech?
cheap.
Cheech.
Finally. Finally.
So let me go ahead. Let me get through this first.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me get
finish
through this,
up.
and then we'll get to Cheech because I want
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
on this too. That's so good to meet Cheech.
Yeah.
But so Trump broke it. Trump threatened to starve people unless he was allowed to take away Medicaid to 20 million people. So he's really literally trying to starve America to death, or he's trying to kill Americans with no health care. So that was the bargain that he's put in front of Democrats. Judge says you can't do that. Release the money, feed the people. And then he now claims victory as a nice guy. And let me just read you this tweet. This is what he put out after the judge is like, feed the people. Our government lawyers do not think we have the legal authority to pay SNAP with certain monies that we have available. It's great. And now 2 courts have issued conflicting opinions, and we cannot, what we can and cannot do. I do not want Americans to go hungry because the radical Democrats refused to do the right thing and reopen the government. Oh, my God. Therefore, I have instructed our lawyers to ask the court to clarify how we can legally fund SNAP as soon as possible. And it already is delayed enough, you guys. Due to the Democrats keeping the government closed to monthly payment date. And even if we get immediate guidance, it will unfortunately be delayed while the states get the money out, guys. So we can't get it to you fast enough. If we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it will be my honor to provide the funding, ladies and gentlemen.
So he didn't write that, obviously.
No.
There's no way he cannot form a sentence. So
No,
it's impossible. It's impossible.
No, Cheech, that was Stephen Miller. That's why I say this is all prepared. This was all the government shutdown. The fact that they were going to fire. This was planned for earlier in the year. They wanted to do this way back when they were surprised that Schumer voted to keep the government open. They thought this was good. They were going to get free reign and go and do this and even earlier than this. It's just this was all part. They cornered the Democrats into such a position. Or, like I said, this was played out a long time ago. This is not, they're not doing it by the whim. This is not Trump woke up 1 second and said, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm not. Trump is running around right now. Me and Michael Cohen were talking about is like off, on the telephone. It's like he's doing a bucket list right now. You really, like people that know Trump were watching him. It's like there's certain things. It's like he just think about it. He cares about the building. He's turning the White House into Mar-a-Lago on steroids, into another private club to leave behind the legacy. He's running around getting gifts like a king, from crowns to private jets, catch up. His kids are running around, making more money than they could, anybody could even imagine. And so he's not running the show. He's the face man, just like, when he did The Apprentice or anything. Yes, he has a lot of input to say. He has a lot to say. But at the end of the day, when he's fed the program in which we're all seeing play out, which is Project 2025, and that is what he is pushing. And this is all part of it. So, to go in the Democrats, and this is what I scream and yell about every single day. Stop playing defense. You knew that there's certain funds in there. Why are you waiting for a court to come out and say that this is? How come that from day one you're not screaming and saying, "Wait a second, while we have this fund down, there's rights." There's ways of you to. This is what I'm trying to say to you. The messaging, and there's nobody there to give the message, and there
No,
isn't no unified message to begin with.
it's
So
same here in Rhode Island. Same here in Rhode Island. So they had the No Kings event, which was here in Westerly. I'm in Westerly, Rhode Island, which is South County, Rhode Island, as close as you can get to Connecticut, as without actually being in Connecticut. And I tell everybody, by the way, Taylor Swift's my neighbor. Literally, she is about 3.5 miles away from here. However, even the representatives here, whether it's from the Senate or from the House, they did not attend any of these events that were local. They kind of cherry picked where they wanted to go and what they wanted to say. And that's to your point, Lev, that they don't have a message. There is no message, and there wasn't anybody on the Democrat side or Republican, as far as I can see, that even closely resembles somebody that's willing to support the masses. It's not there. So we hold our No Kings event here in the South County. We have a South County Resistance on Facebook, and they go to
no
the
follow-up.
no, none,
No follow.
no follow-up.
That is the problem. And that's what we talk about all the time. We say, yes, we have a great turnout. Just think about it, 7 million people, over 7 million people, no kings. You see the pictures, you see the videos, and then the next morning, it's all gone. It's like New Year's Eve. There's such a buildup for that one
No.
day, for that one event, but when the ball drops and it's 12 o'clock, that's it. We all go home. We wake up the next morning, and it's a new year. It can't happen like that. No, it can't. This is a war to save our democracy. We're fighting a dictatorship right now.
So
Yeah.
the
what I would
question is,
ask you?
where do
Go
we
ahead,
go
go
from
ahead.
here? Where do we go from here? So
This
that's
is what I wanted to ask you because,
yeah.
and I'll tell you why. Because Lev and I look at you're an American citizen. Lev's an American citizen, but he and I do things over here and over there. You're an American citizen that is asking for people like us, and more importantly, your elected representatives for a little fucking servant leadership, right? For
Yeah.
a little direction to bring people together. What do you want? Like just as an average, everyday, hardworking, progressive American who's interested in the democracy of your country and your state, what do you want? What do you want to see us do? What do you want to see them do?
What I want to see them do, I want to see them get off their ass and do something. That's the bottom line. Is there's no pushback
Yep.
from any of them, and
Yes, sir.
and it frustrates. I know we can swear on here, but I'll
Yeah.
say it frustrates the fuck out of me that they don't do that.
Get it off
And
your chest, Cheese. Get it off your
I've got a lot more. But by the way, Dean, we United States of New England, we want to come to Canada.
I said this the other day because I was talking to someone about the World Series, and I said after we win the World Series, we're going to annex 3 states on the West Coast, a couple of states on the border, but we want all of New England. I fucking love the people of New England, Rhode Island, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts. I'm telling you, we have been best of friends, and it's those relationships too. We'll put that aside in a second. It's those relationships too that have really suffered, but it's been amazing to see, people in certain states, specifically blue states, that have always had this beautiful relationship with Canadians and Americans. People from New England come up to Quebec, Montreal, the East Coast, people from the East Coast. Like, that's one big country, the New England / East Coast of Canada, specifically Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, PEI. They're a brother and sisterhood. They're a family out there, right? So, God,
Right.
we would love to annex you.
Hey, let me just put it to both of you guys. I'm going to tell you this much, and this is the crazy part. We are all brothers and sisters. California,
Yeah.
Florida, Canada. That's the beauty of it. That's what I'm saying to you. What Donald Trump, what he's trying to do is to cause these little divisions, and not even Donald Trump. So this is what I'm trying to say. This is a whole machine right now, and Project 2025 is just another version and name for this. This has been around for many, many years. This ideology that's being pushed on. You even had when I had Don Bacon on my a podcast live. He said it. He came out and he said it. He said there's a group of Republicans going back to the 30s, and he said it didn't work in the 30s, and it's not going to work now, where they want to isolate us from the European side, break it, close off the borders, take over Canada. I mean, everything that we're seeing play out. This is an old game plan that's being just reformed and put a different name and a different stamp, and they have the face, which is Donald Trump.
Cheech?
Yeah. So circling back to what you were saying about the 1930s, and I'll just go back to when I was in high school 100 years ago.
He likes to tell everybody how old we are, Cheech.
Well, it's true. I'm older than dirt, but in high school, history was my worst subject. I'd go to class, history class. I had a teacher by the name of, this is no lie, George Bush, and he would read from the book, and I'd fall asleep in the back row. And he'd say, "Mr. Previtt, would you like to go to the library?" I said, "Yes, sir. Absolutely." Now, fast forward to, where I am today and what I do. History, for me, it's the open book of being able to follow the path of where we were and actually where we are going today. It is no lie. When you read history and see what has happened in the past, in particular in the late 20s and 30s, and I'm talking about what happened over in Germany, and Nazi Germany, and following what happened with Hitler, and now also, over in Russia with Putin, and here we are. What's happening here?
But you know what they're doing, and that's a great. I just interrupt you. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Dean, but this is important because my son Aaron talks about it to me all the time. He talks about it on his. He says, "Dad, the biggest problem that we're seeing and that we're not having is they stopped teaching history. They stopped teaching civics. There's no civics. There's no history that's being taught. And so, and people like Stephen Miller, people the Federalist Society, people that put together and have these, they understand that there's been a time lapse of a certain part where people, the young generation, and that's why they're concentrating on the young generation. That's why they got the Charlie Kirks and all of that, because a young generation that doesn't, some people don't even don't know about, and there's actual, debate if, what's it called? The Holocaust actually happened because it's being erased. And that's part of implementing, because you erase the history first, you stop teaching it, and then you come out with this, and, then you put out there, and it becomes not history, but it becomes conspiracy theory, because to most of the generation that grew up not learning it, not knowing it, to them, this is like, what are you talking about? Where did you learn this? And this is what I'm starting to see that's been being played out.
That revisionist history. Sorry, go ahead, Cheech.
And same thing in Ukraine. I mean, Lev, what is Putin doing in Ukraine? And he's erasing their history, rewriting it. And where does that sound familiar? Rewriting history. It's there. It's here. And the younger generation is I'm old, but the younger generation, being in their 20s, they don't see it that way. It's crazy when you get their opinion, and I asked them about that, and they said, "Well, it doesn't impact me." Well, it sure the F does. It impacts you, because look what's happening today. So right down the line to protect our right to free speech, freedom. Look what's happening with the media. And he's following the same playbook that Putin does in Russia.
And the same one that Goebbels instituted in 1929 all the way through 1945. And, if we could step into that history as a teacher perspective just for a second, you're 100% right. Lev's 100% right. I love history, but like you, really didn't care for it when I was a kid. Same with algebra. So I fell asleep a lot in those classes. I spent a lot of days in the library too, Cheech. But now I'm a massive history buff. I love philosophy. You can go back 2,500 years to see this kind of playbook from Roman times, right? The dictatorial propaganda that you would see from people, the creation of a specific class set. But more recently, there are links to that really horrific past 1929 to 1945. You can even back it up to 1926 in Germany in that playbook. I'll get to some specific examples. And you can absolutely set your watch to how Putin, over the past 25 years, militarized and turned Russia into the exact same dictatorial state that Donald Trump is trying to bring to the United States. I'm reminded of that when I see ICE agents in those fucking snappy helmets with the masks on, because it's exactly what happens. They've got riot control dressed in the exact same shit. And Trump wants to do that all through all 50 states now with this new directive that Hegseth put out. So let's put that aside just for a second.
Sure.
We're told not to call these guys Nazis. We're told not to reference them. They get really angry about it. But let me just kind of walk you through, if we're pulling on a couple of Nazi threads, a couple of very specific examples. One, Ice Goons. He's got his own nationalized police force funded to the tune of $150 billion fucking dollars. There's that one. And I'm going to swear. I don't really mind, by the way, Cheech. I hope you don't either.
I don't mind.
And I'll give you a physical examples. What did Hitler and the Nazis do when they rose to power? They got interested in building monuments to this great country they were trying to build. We've got a new Arc de Triomphe plan. He's torn down the fucking East Wing. He's building not just a monument as a ballroom. He's also building underneath something that, I don't know, you could probably call the Führer bunker.
Yeah.
It is going to include a residence, a place for him to hide if shit hits the fan. It's going to include an emergency command center for Trump and all of his cronies. And then let's just back that up even further.
The fact that he's not planning on leaving, that's just
dude. Well, exactly. Yeah, he's
right.
He's not building it for the next guy.
No, he's staying.
Yeah, and it's in every aspect of what they do, from the takeover of the media, Barry Weiss, CBS Sports, Skydance, Warner Brothers. That's now one big company. That same company now owns TikTok. And they're going to be able to filter anything into your brain anytime they want, and they actually control the messaging. And one of the grossest things I've seen was Barry Weiss's first 60 Minutes episode, Leslie Stahl with Witkoff. Do you remember this? He had Witkoff and he had Jared Kushner there, and they celebrated these two dorks like they were actual statesmen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is the sane washing that they tried to do back in the day, where they're like, Hitler's like, we don't need academics.
Right.
We don't need professionals. We're just going to bring a whole bunch of drug addicts that I came up with, and we're going to put them in charge of the fucking machine.
Even then they couldn't do it right, because that's what by accidentally Witkoff, the bubbly fool, told the world that Jared was planning on the financial stuff, building it way before him, wiping out Gaza.
Jared's the lead investor in Israel and Gaza.
He's the lead investor in the Gaza. Like, I mean, these guys are like the bumbling fools. That's why I say they can't shoot straight. I want to say, hey, Cheech, if you have any final words you want to say?
Yeah, I will. I'll finish up. It's some of you know that I have family over in Odessa, and
yes,
my fiance's there, and I'm making plans to be there. The challenge happens to be getting the visa to travel, and I have to wait until she has her passport in hand. That's another story for a different day. But having her passport in hand before I can get my visa, and once that happens, I'll be traveling to Moldova and then into Ukraine. We've already secured housing for her and for a friend of hers and a 9-year-old child, a son, to live in a house that we have now in Odessa. I'm crossing my fingers.
Well,
do me
a favor. If you can you send me a DM, because the head of the Odessa Guardia is a dear friend of mine.
Sure.
So first of all, I will make sure that when you're down there, that you'll be met to make sure that you're okay. And also before you even get there, if you this would give me her name and her information, so I can pass it along.
I'll pass it along.
So whatever aid, whatever she needs, that she'll have a phone call to be able to make also with the kids.
Once I'm there, the goal is to go live on Substack with you and with Olex.
We'll have Olex go with you too.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying to you. When
just
you
so
go
you
there,
can.
we'll go with you together.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
All right.
This is just the magic of this. So you got a subscriber named Cheech who hops on with you for a coffee talk with us, coffee and tea with Lev and Dean. He's got tea, I got coffee. I hope you have some Baileys in yours, Cheech. Please tell me. But just bringing him on and then now connecting him because he's going to Ukraine. This is fucking great. I
This
love
is what
this,
this,
dude.
because Substack became more than, to me, it's more than just
It's a
it's a
family.
Family.
family. We become a family, and to all
Yes.
of our subscribers and all of, I always say it, because I'm not a media guy. You guys know that, dude. I don't know the first thing about technology, media. You know my history. I was one of the guys that was inside. I helped build this crazy mega machine, and that's why I'm trying to get the message out and doing everything. I'm using this platform, and I'm using, basically each and every one of you are basically my extension of my voice, my megaphones to scream loud until we eventually get through to somebody out there that is able to do, is saying, I've had enough of this, picks up the phone and says, you know what, let's put together the plan, Lev. Let me hear what needs to be done. Let's put, who are the people that need to be recruited? What needs to be put in place? Let's save our democracy, because I truly believe that there's a lot of people out there that that have the heart to do it, but unfortunately, the people that have the capability and availability and ability
Right.
to do it, uh, I'm starting to realize that that's why, another reason why Trump is able to get away and do what he's doing, because he knows all these people.
Yeah.
He's dealt with a lot of these people, because Trump was before that also donated to Democrats, Republicans. He's played the game, and a lot of these people have a lot of things in their closets, and that's why I say we need a new guard. We need some new blood. We need some young blood. We need some people there to come in there to really, that they're not scared to stand up to him, to go out there, that are not scared to take take a day like No King's Day and go there every day. You know what I'm saying? To not be scared to fund it, to be able to fund it. And that's where we're at. But listen, Cheech, I just want to say thank you, brother,
No,
because
thank you.
you
And,
you
and
you've been supporting, and you've been, I know, I watch and I see you're with me all the time.
try to.
True, I know you are there. And for all of you out there that haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to this, our family here, to Dean, to everybody. And
To
if you guys
Cheech.
want to Cheech, yeah, listen, we're all part of our, this small little family, to be able to get our voices out, to be able to make sure the one thing that we all have in common is we do want to save this democracy. We do want to be able to change what's going on. We do want to be able to live in a country where we could debate policies, where we could go back to agreeing or disagreeing. But one thing that we could all agree upon is that we stand against dictatorship. We stand against Putin invading a country and blowing up, killing people every day. We
Yeah.
stand against, Netanyahu going out there wiping out all of Gaza just because they want to build casinos and
Right.
land and not care about people. I mean, we stand against ICE walking into our cities, arresting. Just today, me and my wife, literally, my wife was crying watching TV because they were showing something on how a 16-year-old child was arrested with his father. They were driving down here in Florida, I think it was, or somewhere down south. They were driving. ICE tried to pull them over. The father didn't pull over, kept going, and drove into like Home Depot. They chased them into Home Depot, put them on the ground, beat up the 16-year-old kid. He's an American citizen.
Yeah.
This is an American citizen. American citizen.
Meanwhile, you
He's
got
an
Christy Noem standing out there going, "We have never attacked or hurt or apprehended an American."
So,
and he's a child.
yeah, and also with you, to your point, Dean, she's on and she's got ads for ICE
Yeah.
on local television and on YouTube, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is it that they're letting them advertise on YouTube? For ICE, join ICE, $50,000.
No, we should be advertised, but this is the whole
Yeah,
thing. This is they know what they're doing.
yeah,
See, this is what I'm saying to you. Where is ours? We should be YouTube right now. Every time you should go on YouTube right now, you should see. You should not be able to go on any social media or television without seeing Marjorie Taylor Greene's voice saying that the Republicans shut down. It's their fault.
yeah.
Release the Epstein file. You got their own voices. You got their own downturn. You could use their. We're not doing. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody's putting out the message. That's why we're not hearing it. They are. They're out. They go out. Just think about it. They go out there, invade Chicago. Invade Chicago. They
How do
go
we
put
get a louder voice? How do we get a voice louder than them? Where's our megaphone to be that loud that they can hear us?
Well, I'll tell you
Yeah.
honestly, and I'm going to be as
Yeah.
honest as I can with you.
Yes.
And I'm always, I know never sugarcoat it with any of you guys. It's all about the funding. They have money, and look, like I'll give you an example. I know what we needs to be done. I know the game plan that needs to. But I was part of building that. I know how to dismantle it. It's not a 1 day shot. It's not like, oh, let's
Mhm.
just, it's like a war. You have to hit them from the air, from the sea, from it has to be also disinformation campaign, information campaign. It has to be all the tools are there, but there's nobody on the Democratic side that financially is supporting a campaign to stop it.
Maybe I'll ask
Instead,
Taylor. Maybe I'll ask Taylor to fund a few million.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
just go down to
campaign,
her
but
house, knock on her door,
yeah,
say trick or
yeah,
treat. By the
yeah,
way, can you help me
absolutely.
save
Yeah.
America?
Bring a big basket, cheese. But I'll tell you the biggest
Yes.
problem that we have compared to, because when I was on the other side, like I'll give you an example. We come up with an idea that could benefit a lie, a disinformation,
Yeah.
and money would be like this. Like, I mean, it would be spread. We would have it. We would have it spread all over the world, and then we would have other disinformation campaigns pick it up. And that's why, and it continues till this day. On our side, we have the truth. We have facts. We actually have the truth and facts, but we don't have anybody that's willing to do it every day. B, that's willing to put up their money where their mouth is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not just put up some money to the campaign. Like, where are these George Clooney's? I'm honest. Where is Obama? Where's all these people that where's all of these billions of dollars that were collected for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden?
Right.
Where's all this money right now? What are we waiting for? What
Yeah.
they got campaigns going on every single. That's part of the game plan right now.
Yeah.
Where are our surrogates? Where now they're flooding CNN every single. They have their surrogates on
Yeah.
every podcast, every Democratic level talking about they're pushing their agenda. Where are our surrogates? Not on Fox. There's nowhere on Newsmax. There's nobody anywhere talking. I try to call Gavin Newsom, and I'm told that he's too busy doing podcasts to pick up and have a 5-minute conversation. I get called back from Prisker's office telling me, Lev, we'd like to talk to you, and then they ghost me for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying to you? After things happen. So this is the type of things that you're going through. So it's like until we get somebody out there that really cares about our country, that because it's you don't even need billions. That's the whole thing. It's not You're
Right.
not talking about such crazy money. You're
There
talking
has to
about
be a start. There has to be.
exactly
It
a
has to be a
movement.
start.
A
Yeah.
movement, exactly.
Yeah.
A
Well, you
movement
go
to
Exactly.
back to
start.
that conversation that we had earlier, where I asked Cheech what he wanted, and I think he's telling us, and I think it aligns heavily with what Lev is trying to accomplish, what we are trying to accomplish, what the people at Save America are trying to accomplish, what Midas is trying to accomplish, what Cohen, so many people, so many people with these big, but it's like scattershot, and we talk about this quite a bit. Whereas MAGA and Lev, you know this because you helped build the machine. It is so hyper focused on never taking their fucking foot off the gas pedal and having the same message go to the same people, getting data points and information on 360 million Americans to continually keep them under the impression of the perception that Donald Trump is doing what is right for America. And I only go back to this example because it's the most recent one. Your son Aaron kind of uncovered this week, a memo that went out that said Hegseth is ordering all 50 states to develop a rapid response team to quell anti-Trump protests around the United States of America. Now they're doing that with park services workers, meaning like tour guides in Washington and monuments and stuff, where they're offering them $70,000 bonuses. They're offering people that join ICE $50,000 bonuses because they want to put 23,500 people, goons in all 50 states to not only quell dissent, but they also want to make sure, and they called it election regulation, which you know what that means. To Lev's point, something you've been talking about, this is all about 2026. It is all about disrupting the elections because he is so underwater. He is so hated. but you would never know that because he is the president of the United States and their digital game is the best in the fucking world. And they also, to your point, and I want to know where Elon Musk is. That's the other part of this coffee talk I want to get to. Is where the fuck is Elon Musk?
But wait, before you go, I just want to say, Cheech, we love you because we want to bring somebody else up.
Bring him up. And I'm sorry, I'm like I get on my soapbox and I don't want to get off.
Great. Dude, it was great to meet you. Thank you so much.
It was great. It's great, and it keep coming up. But I want to. Part of today is we want.
Well, I'm happy to be here,
and we are happy that you're here, brother. DM me. Make sure you DM me.
Yeah, I will. And go Toronto. Go Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
And I'm a Red Sox fan. Go Blue Jays.
Listen, I'm a Yankee fan, and my wife. I was gonna go for the Dodgers, but my wife's going for the Blue Jays. So, and my wife is not even a baseball, and she's like, "No, I'm going."
What's going on with your Dolphins, buddy? What's going on with my?
I'm not a Dolphin fan. New York Jets fan. It's even weirder.
That's even. I don't know if that's better.
Ugly.
I'll let you guys go.
Thanks.
All right,
stay
safe,
meet you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Bye.
Hey, just quickly to everybody out there, if anybody wants to come up, we're gonna get up maybe another 1 or 2 people. We're gonna then go through some questions and go. But this is, I love it. Hadi, this is great.
Oh, this is awesome, dude. It's such a great way to like touch base with people in a real physical way where they don't get a chance to normally get in on these with people like you. It's a huge deal. So yeah, get us your questions, put them in the chat. Paid subscribers, as always, can ask us anything you want. We'll bring a couple more people up, but I want to finish that thought, and then I want to ask you the question while we're waiting for these comments from everybody. And thank you. We've got 1,000 people here, and it's just incredible to touch base with y'all and have a coffee and tea with Lev and Dean on a Saturday. But what MAGA does so well, which we pointed out, isn't just the focused message, but they've cornered the market on billionaires and oligarchs, right? They get the richest people in the world that are like, yeah, we want to decide how this shit works, so we'll give you whatever you need if you're just going to cater to us, and that's what's going on. But where is Elon Musk? Like, have you talked to anybody in MAGA land? Have you talked to anybody in the Trump regime about where Musk has been? He has been not just awfully quiet. Maybe he's busy trying to interfere in England's business because that seems to be his job right now. But where's that relationship at with MAGA right now?
There really is no relationship. He came out, he tried to make a stance, he got smacked down. He saw how powerful, and he was given a message. Because remember, even some of the guys that came in with him, like David Sachs, the crypto king and all that, now, stayed even when Elon left. So then he got talk from Peter Thiel, and he still got his dog in the race, Vance. So they basically corralled him. And he's like a good little puppy, just doing his thing. You see him support the movement here and there.
They clipped his nuts, didn't they? They clipped his nuts.
Oh, they clipped his nuts. Yeah, they clipped his nuts. He's now, you don't see him trying to get into any type of thing.
Can I just bring up he's almost exact. He's a carbon copy of Trump. And let me I want to ask you this question because I don't know if you remember the tweet he put out a couple of years ago. It was about a year ago. That the highway of his enemies is littered with corpses of his enemies, and he'll take on anybody and beat anybody. Doesn't matter. Remember that? Remember that statement? And then he kind of went off on a tangent over the Epstein files after he launched the Donald Trump is in the Epstein files after they got in a tiff where he took away all of his rebates for the EVs in the big beautiful bill, which obviously still doesn't pass. The government shut down. Well, it's passed, but they haven't approved the budget, so whatever. And he said he was going to out every single Republican that refused to do anything with the Epstein files. And talk this big game. I'm going to start the America Party. He literally started a party and put millions of dollars into advertising how the America Party is going to bring America back and take business away from the Democrats and the Republicans, and America needs a new direction. And about a month later, dead silence. Like, dead silence. And I would fucking love to know about what happened between...
Oh, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The Charlie Kirk's assassination. That changed everything.
How?
Because Well, it because it consolidated the power machine. I mean, see, a lot of people don't see it on the outside, but the way Mega, it's like watching if you were watching one of these movies, like when it's like when Hulk Hogan turned from Peter Baxter, was he turning into a Hulk? That's the time. That's how the growth and the power started moving. I mean, we don't hear about it. The media doesn't talk about it every day, but the expansion of what they've done with Turning Point USA, the way they've been able to capitalize on Charlie Kirk's death, and the way they've gone and used also to take over social media and these the young vote is pretty powerful. So that is why I always say, and this is, why Trump won, because we still live in a world, Dean, where yes, the people you go talk to, the people you go see, most of them are common sense human beings, and that's why you get the perception that most people don't like Donald Trump. You get the perception that most people are going to vote commonly. But I've started, and I used to be that way, but I've started going into these places and looking and talking to these people that are not like you and me, and don't have the same common sense, don't say the same, are not the same age group. They're not the same. They're not reading the same information sources. Some of us grew up to watching TV, the news source being our TV. My son doesn't even have a TV in his house. One of them, not Aaron, my other one. He just is on the computer. So I'm saying to you, it's a different world out there right now. And the fact that, and this is what I'm trying to explain, and this is the message. We could sit there and debate it all you want, but it's a very simple answer. I'm telling you what they did. I was there. I was there with Brad Pascal. I was there, and this is what they, pushed on. It was going out there, and they understood that there's generations of young voters that a group, they tapped into a bunch of group of voters that never voted,
Yeah.
and gave him a reason to vote.
Mhm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? But it was a lie. They sold him, what's it called? It was
Yeah,
all,
Turning Point USA was effectively a victim radicalization platform that Charlie Kirk ran into 2,500 universities to get emails, and he literally told every white kid at every single university, "Hey, listen, unless you stand up for Jesus and your culture and your religion, you are going to lose everything. We are under attack." And he did that for years, and dude was incredibly successful. Like they have millions of emails. They have millions of like tens, hundreds of millions in donations, and that footprint to that younger generation that opened their eyes up to a lie and the propaganda that continually flows through MAGA is something. And so, what you're telling me is that the death of Charlie Kirk, they were able to sort of assume Turning Point USA and use the death of Charlie Kirk to grow that monster from Bruce Banner into the Hulk and really reconsolidate MAGA to the point where Elon Musk was left out in the cold. They're like, hey, listen, you can come with us or you can fight against us. It's totally fucking up to you. But that's what clipped his nuts, in your opinion? That's
I
one of the
mean,
biggest reasons?
that was one of the things that turned a lot of, if you
Yeah.
remember, I mean, it shut down that whole, push against the Epstein files, really internally. It really isolated certain people that, you don't see that same push anymore. You've got more unification in the MAGA Republican Party
Can I
because,
ask you a question?
yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, it's a conspiracy question.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Do you think Charlie Kirk was shot by that kid?
No.
Hmm.
And I'm not conspiracy nut. It's hard for me to say that, but I'll say it to you just from even watching how MAGA itself and how just knowing all the players involved, knowing, watching the way things are taking place and the
When it
way
happened, how
when it
underwater he
happened.
was, the Epstein files, the fracture all across MAGA lines.
Listen, I'll tell you even a different crazier one. I really at first when he got shot.
Oh,
Uh,
Butler, the assassination
no,
attempt was
yeah,
your.
yeah. At first, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. I would be like, listen, I'm not gonna do it. It is what it is. Somebody died. I'm saying to you,
Mm.
and that really got me for a second. because I forgot to what degree and how far they're willing to go. Because the fact that somebody died, that there was, I thought to myself, oh, it couldn't have been staged or it couldn't have been. But then when you realize the group of people you're dealing with, and when you're realizing to what extent the power of the office and the money that's involved, and the trillions, because some of these people are now going into the trillion land, billions, hundreds of billions. I mean, money that is unthinkable, and the power that uh, I'm now, from even certain stuff that I'm hearing from certain sources on the inside that are around him, that like seen his ear very up close. Uh, I believe that was staged also. I believe that also was a major setup. I also truly now am starting to believe that another reason why they got Elon locked down the way that, besides what's it called, what happened with Charlie Kirk, I'm also hearing is Elon played a big role with some of the stuff that happened in Pennsylvania. And I don't know to what degree. I don't know if I don't know if they did something to fix it or get information, but that's why one of the first things they did was come in, take Doge control of the information, started cleaning up, and gutting of everything that transpired. So there's nothing, no evidence of how we got here. So I truly believe that they understood that this was it. They understood that if Trump loses, that Trump was not the only one that was going to go down. That there was a lot, and there was a lot of money. Again, unfortunately, we live in a world where money it talks and bullshit walks. That's if you're broke, you're a joke. That's how
Yeah.
this is how people look at it in that world. And if and they and that is why they're able to do the things they're able to do, because, like I said, and that's why Russia is great with their manipulation game, because they throw billions of dollars into this type of stuff to be able to push disinformation. That is like peanuts compared to them. And yeah.
I am so happy to hear you weigh in on that. There are certain conversations you and I haven't had, and as we've gotten to know each other, obviously it's more comfortable. We can ask each other these questions. I try to be respectful of you, try not to get you in trouble, but I absolutely, it just is. There is a growing pool of evidence, and a growing deafening silence around Charlie Kirk's assassination. The Butler assassination attempt, to me, it couldn't have been anything but staged, according to every forensic expert that understands anything about what happened that day. Don't put it past Donald Trump to sacrifice any average American, no matter who they are, in his crowd, because, as you know, and I'm sure he said this to you, or I'm sure you've gotten this, he didn't give a shit about any of his supporters. He cares about their bank accounts and their vote, and he cares about melting those minds. Like I just, it's refreshing to have this conversation with you, because you are on the inside. You know what these people are completely capable of, And I want to ask you a different question. Speaking of what they're capable of, because Miriam Bus, who just asked a question, can I ask a question for Lev?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
you can.
absolutely.
She asked a question, and I want to bring it up. What did they do to Dan Bongino?
Great question. Nothing. I mean, and this is the crazy part. This is insane. What we're watching play out. You literally have Dan Bongino uh completely at odds with them about the Epstein files. And nobody, literally, except for us here, talk about it, is doing anything about it. No, there's no media that's going to question him, even to put him on the record. They haven't. Just ask him, let him go on the record and say, where do you stand with this releasing of the Epstein files? I mean, literally, Dan Bongino has not been asked a question. Dan Bongino
Has he
goes
even done
out.
an interview? Has he done an interview since the Epstein file drop? I haven't seen one.
Charlie Kirk passed away. When
Okay,
Charlie Kirk passed away, that's the they all came in and
but he just
used
talked
that
about
as
Charlie Kirk, right? He didn't
Charlie
talk about
Kirk,
anything else.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see him posting about, like, raids that they do, about how they'll take down, about talking about how they took down
Yeah.
the ring with the mafia and all that. No, you see him doing posts, but nothing about the Epstein files. nothing, nothing that if you could find me the last thing that Dan Bongino ever said about the Epstein stuff was when he left the office for 4 days and he was not supposed to come back, and then he came back, and since then, since I broke that story about Vance having that dinner that he was supposed to have about trying to get Bongino on track. They've had that meeting then, remember, in the White House between Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. But no, I mean, Dan Bongino is still not, but not on, not corralled, but Dan Bongino is also obviously, you could
Oh, he's been
see, playing his
isolated, it
card.
sounds like, right? You want to keep this
Yeah.
job,
Well, I
you
mean,
know.
no, it's not. I don't think anybody's keeping the job. I think Dan Bongino, I think these people are scared. I mean, this goes be. I mean, you gotta understand. Like, I mean, a guy like Dan Bongino, all of a sudden coming out and saying something against Trump right now. Just think about how easy it would be for them to all of a sudden indict him like a ham
Yeah.
sandwich, and all of a sudden turn. You know what I'm saying to you? This is the reason why they're doing what they're doing. This is, and just think about, this is another reason why I want to say Trump. Think about what Trump they announced a couple of times. They're doing nothing about it, but they announced it and they made it, and the media ran with it when they said that they're going to go after the money, that they're going to go after the Soroses, the money that are funding Antifa, funding all of this. This was done to continue to put the fear into, because the only thing that could stop them is another powerful movement that has the money behind it to be able to to fight their disinformation and fight their lies and fight their game. So what do they need to do? They need to scare the money. They need to scare people to want to fund any, rally or any protest or any, because now you could be considered Antifa.
Yeah.
It's all part of the psychological warfare. It's all part of it's all part of, I mean, Project 2025. It's all part of, if you go, Mein Kampf, take a look at, any dictator's plan book.
Project 2025 is just an expanded version of Mein Kampf in my mind.
I mean, it is. I mean, if you take a look at any of them, I mean, going back into history, even going back into the Roman era time, any dictator, any leader of it, it was to be able, it wasn't to unite a country. It wasn't to be a leader for all the people. It was to be a leader for a small group, a small group. You were
Yeah.
always part of the minority. Just think about that also. Every dictator is trying to destroy the majority and hold the majority at bay to give the minority their rights and whatever they want. That's what a dictatorship is, and make it seem that the little scraps that they're going to give out to the people is that they're great for the people. You look back from the Saddam Husseins to the, Stalins to the Hitlers to, I mean, to
Always
currently,
the same. Always the same rhetoric, the same playbook.
same thing. It's not,
Yeah.
and Trump has some real good ones. Let's
So,
see. Yeah, wait. Before we go, anybody else want to come up here and I'll put it up there? Because I know we have a little of a delay here with the questions and the coming up. So if anybody wants to come up, I know Kat is here.
would love to have
Lori,
Kat. She's
yeah,
awesome. She loves you. She
Kat,
loves
yeah,
us. Yeah, Kat, if you
Kat's
want to come
great.
in, let us know.
Yeah,
But listen, let
go
me
ahead. Yeah.
one more.
But let's
Megan,
continue. No,
yeah,
let's continue while we go.
Megan Johnson, another Q&A question. This one's for Lev. Megan Johnson. And this is just a fun aside. I don't know if you watched Erica Kirk, back to the Charlie Kirk business,
Yeah.
embrace JD Vance and say she'll never fall in love again, but she sees some similarities between her and JD, her husband and JD, her ex-husband or widow, whatever, rubbing her fingers through his hair. So Erica asks, what's going on, Lev? What's going on with Erica Kirk and JD Vance? Have you heard anything?
I honestly, I have not. I have not heard of.
She moved on quick though, right? Like, I mean, that's a healing
well, look,
process that, yeah.
I'll tell you. Look, the one thing I can't tell you that my sources, and I broke the story literally a few days after Charlie Kirk's death, was that when Trump had his call with Erica, it was basically that, I need you to step it up. Remember, Trump knew Erica before, that's another thing the
She
media
was a
really
Trump
doesn't talk
pageant
about.
girl, was she not?
Correct. Yeah, she was a Trump pageant girl. She knew, and she was older than, what's his name? Charlie Kirk. And so there's, a lot of things that the media doesn't talk about there, but he called her up and he told her that she needs to step it up and she needs to come out and do the whole thing for be the face of uh, Turning Point USA, because at that point he was scared that that might all just go the other way because
Charlie was
remember.
going the other way in some
Right,
aspects. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
now you see with Candace Owens coming out, who used to be Charlie Kirk's. I mean, she's off the rockers and the
She's
rail.
psycho.
She's psycho, and but I'll tell you, even in all the psycho things, you do gotta understand. She, if you read through the lines a little bit, she used to be Charlie's partner. They used to, I remember meeting when I met Charlie, I met her and Candace together at the same time.
Were they normal
They
back then, though, and did you just task
much
them with
different,
melting
much
minds,
different.
or like what were they like?
They were much different. Well, they were first of all, they were a lot younger. They were basically being groomed by at that time America. What was the super PAC? Uh, Make America. I forgot the name of the super PAC that we done, but
There's so
they
many.
they were basically being groomed, and it was uh, to be able to start going up to start going out to the colleges, to start preaching, to gain the young voice, and and they were a lot different. Candace was definitely different. Like, Charlie, I think, just grew into, a powerhouse. He always had that, he was tall. He was, he had that charisma. He spoke very well. But he wasn't as radicalized. Well, maybe not. Let me reframe it. I didn't spend enough time or to see at that time because at that time it wasn't the radicalization of what we needed. It was more of going out there and getting the voice out there of the Conservative Party into the young vote. So
Mhm.
because remember, even I was one of the things that me and Aaron aside from each other back then was I pushed Aaron. Aaron was to be Charlie Kirk's right hand and
Yeah.
go out there and be that young conservative voice.
How
And
happy are
I,
you he dodged that bullet? Now, and I don't mean that in any other way. I mean like
oh
not
my,
working with Turning Point, right?
oh, I can't even forget Turning Point. Aaron turned down an internship at the White House.
Did he
And
really?
yeah, yeah. He turned down an internship at the White House. Me and him did not speak because it was very difficult, tense, because, I was very aggressive at the time. I was very strong I was so hardcore MAGA. And I put a lot of pressure not only on Aaron, but my wife, my whole family. We were, I mean, to the degree that we couldn't watch Rachel Maddow in our household. If you couldn't put on MSN, like Rachel Maddow was
You were
like,
one of those dads? You became a real MAGA dad, didn't you?
well, I actually made MAGA,
I know.
that's part of that's why, when the FBI raided my house, they said I had a shrine to Trump. Like, I mean, I had golf balls, I had yarmulkes, I had so much memorabilia from Donald Trump personally to me from the White House. Like you see all the stuff
Trump
that
had branded yarmulkes.
oh yeah, yeah. I had straws. I mean, Trump brands everything. Yeah, when I got arrested,
I guess I shouldn't be surprised because
yo,
he branded a Bible. So I guess about branding a yarmulke is just
yeah,
another version of branding something for religion, so he could grift off of it, right?
it was so funny when the FBI when they arrested me at the terminal, we were sitting there and they have to take inventory of everything that you have on you. So they take out my bag and they start taking inventory, and I have Trump straws, Trump yarmulkes, Trump pins. I but and then so they're like, and then all of a sudden they start looking. All of a sudden now I got White House pins, FBI pins, Secret Service. Yeah, yeah. When they saw
Ah,
I had 6 phones, one of the phones had a
six phones.
literally had a White House emblem on it with like the bath phone with the little
Yeah.
White House sign on the back of it.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
when Rudy was called or somebody, it lit up like the White House. Like it was insane. So
Dude. Okay, so you mentioned Rudy, and we've had several people. So I'm not going to get to the individual requests. Um, Rudy was in a car accident a while ago. Have you? How is he? Is he okay? Do you know anything about him? What have you heard?
no, nothing. Me and him have. He blocked me right away because I made him.
I guess so.
Made my. Listen. I made it my mission to stop with the bullshit and to call it all out. And they, Rudy. See, you gotta understand. Rudy understood and knows I know everything. Knew I know the truth. Rudy knew more than anybody, more than Trump even, how much I know because Rudy spent the most time with me.
Mhm.
So Rudy understood exactly how much, and that's why Rudy tried to do whatever he could to just like, because the tactic they took with me is they never responded to me. To this day, none of them, they just pretended they don't know me. They just literally like we live in a nut house. Like, they would come up to Pam Bondi and say, "Hey, but Pam, you got like 20 pictures with you and Lev. Like you guys are hugging here, you're sitting here, he's giving you, like what's going on?" She's like, "Lev who?" They'd be like to DeSantis, they'd be like Governor DeSantis, Lev Parnas, you got hundreds of text messages, all of this going on, like
No idea
they
who you're
like
talking about.
he'd be like, "Get that reporter out of there. Don't ask me those questions. Get that reporter out of there." Like, like this is like and that's how they've been able to basically walk away because they knew that out of all the people that are out there fighting them, that I was not only so deep inside of their whole world, but like the FBI said, I documented all that shit because remember, I wasn't thinking that I was part of, if I you remember, I grew up around a lot of criminals. And if for whatever reason, at any point, I thought that I was part of a criminal activity, I would have erased all my shit. You wouldn't have there would have been zero voluminous activity going on in my phone when the FBI called. I thought I was part of history. I thought I'm here, I'm going to get the Medal of Freedom. I'm working for the president of the United States. I'm going to go destroy the deep state. I'm going, and that's how deep the mind control is, and that's why I say it's a cult because to believe that deep because I was never in politics. It's not like I grew up in some politics family where I'm a conservative, hardcore conservative. Yes, I have conservative values and things I believe from policy, right? But I didn't grow up in the, I'm an immigrant. My parents came here, they were immigrants, and so I believe in a lot of progressive democratic values alongside with it. So it wasn't like I had some crazy, squirt to tie up with the Democrats. No, but one because the machine there is so powerful. Where
Mm.
there and I'm going to give you guys, a lot of you I see ask the question, what do we do? What do we do? It's the same. I keep saying it's a simple. I know sometimes the most simplest answer sometimes seems like the most craziest, but it's unify the message. When they go out there, Laura Loomer right now. I'll give you a perfect example. Laura Loomer right now is fighting with what's his name, Junior. What's it?
Don
Alex
Jr.
Stone. No, Stone.
Oh.
Yeah. So Stone was Roger Stone was Laura Loomer's, like they were butt buddies. Now they're in a big fight. Why? Because Roger Stone went on Tucker Carlson. See, there's a lot of division going on there in MAGA that with the media that people don't even understand that what's going on that we could capitalize and use to our advantage. That's crazy. So he goes on Tucker Carlson, and Laura Loomer attacks Tulsi Gabbard, because remember, you guys got to remember another thing that Trump's cabinet, even though they're loyal to Trump, the mega base doesn't like them. The mega base does not like Vance. The mega base does not like all of the picks that they have because of what's it called. But they're kind of like supporting it because, you know, it's like Trump is their leader, and that's what they kind of got to do. Like, you know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So now you got Laura Loomer and what's his name going at it.
Roger Stone.
Roger Stone going hardcore. Where Stone is saying to Laura Loomer that you need to go get psychiatric help.
Well, I would agree with that. Listen, I would agree with Roger Stone on that. Actually, I'm with I'm never with Roger Stone, but I agree because we're talking about Trump's side piece, and we're also talking about a woman that chained herself to Twitter head offices because because they muted her account. So like, it's just the entire MAGA ecosystem. And someone asked this question too, and I failed to get the tag of the person. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, my fault. But I will say this: the question that the person asked, I think it's a good question. Then what is the state of MAGA right now? Like, if you could,
Yeah.
and I think it's a great question.
Great question. Great question. By the way, guys, if you're standing right now in the subline, you want to jump in the conversation and you haven't yet become a paid subscriber, just press the button, join me, Dean, subscribe
Yeah,
to
that little
both of
gray
us.
button at the top. It's all you got to do. Hit it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're a paid subscriber, then you can right away join us if you want. Come on up. If anybody wants to come on up and join us, you want to say something, ask a question, or just like Cheech, get some things off your chest, more than welcome to, or just put your question in and we'll go into it. So yeah, state of MAGA. MAGA right now is all, I'm gonna say it as bluntly as I can. The way, if I, in Dean Blundell's words, is fucked up. You know what I'm saying to you? They are right now because what Trump did to them with the Epstein stuff, the way Trump dealt with the whole Israel situation, the way Trump has continuously let Putin off the hook, even though they did disagree with what's it called, funding.
Well, they wanted the war to end, right? Yeah.
Correct. The fact that Trump is planning on invading Venezuela, which that's another something I'm going to be breaking later today. I think literally I'm going to, I'll break it here with you guys. I'm going to put 72 hours. We're going to be in Venezuela within 72 hours.
Whoa! You can't just ease into that. You got to billboard a little bit. So. We rumors, but you're saying that within the next 72 hours, the Trump regime is going to use the military to strike Venezuela?
Well, I'm going to give you even a better one. What I'm hearing is we already have certain boots on the ground, and that yes, we are going to see some sort of, and this is where it's going to get interesting. How Trump calls it, because I think Trump is going to call it not an invasion or whatever legal term that. I think
liberation.
They're going to call it a special. What did Putin call a
special military operation?
Correct.
He can't even be original when he's not being original. Like, I mean, it's just fucking crazy.
We'll see what happens, but I definitely am hearing more and more, and it's getting to a point where it looks like I'm going to put around 72 hours this week, or we're going to see we already see there's already going is, but and that's gonna stonewall and go into it, because I'm also hearing talks about he has a major pissed off with Colombia, and now he's talking about I mean crazy shit about bringing Colombia, going after if Colombia dares to help Venezuela. There's also conversation I'm hearing about some of the rockets, the reason why they're not sending any rockets, also these what's it called, Tomahawks, because Trump wants
to Ukraine.
Yeah, well, not even to Ukraine. I mean, nowhere. He wants to display them on Venezuela. He wants to show the power of what we're capable of doing in the.
He wants to conduct a deadly dick swinging contest, is what you're saying.
It's what I'm hearing. Yeah, like he wants to. They want to bring not just arrest Maduro. They want to bring him down, and it's getting really tight in there. The only reason he hasn't invaded yet is because also what I'm hearing is that remember Venezuela right now is under China and Russia's wing also,
and Iran. Right, and Iran. They've got a bunch of Iranian military equipment there.
Yeah. But the big ones are China and Russia. You know what I'm
So are they
saying?
this? So let's back that up a little bit too. Then, fuck, I love this coffee talk. Thank you for doing this. This is awesome. Because a lot of people are kind of asking the question in the chat as well, and again, just kind of a general question. So what you're saying is, next 72 hours, there's going to be an invasion of Venezuela. That's what you're hearing. But let's get to the Russia China part, because Maduro, if I'm not mistaken, sent a letter to both Z and Putin requesting military help, and he's getting that military help.
Yeah.
So we could be looking at some kind of proxy war, or how does that work? Because in my mind, Putin and Trump are lockstep, and I or is that just theatrics?
Well, you get all of it's theatrics. Putin and Trump are not buddies; they're not friends. Putin, I mean, Trump tries to pretend they're all friends and tries
Yeah,
to play that all mission. But you saw, I mean, perfect was seeing him, uh, the way Putin played him and the way they hugged, and because Putin needed something from him, he needed that red carpet. So because you saw that reaction, and then when you saw him go meet up with Chi, which he needed nothing from him, you saw him staying there. Oh, my buddy, and he's like, who the fuck are you? Like.
did you see that handshake, dude? See that handshake? And he's like,
He's
"We're
like,
great friends. We're the best
okay,
friends. I
like,
really like this guy. He loves me." And G's standing there going like this.
yeah, she's a real mobster, she's a real, OG, that's like, you got she's a real OG, and
Yeah.
and then you got Putin, who is a real KGB, he's a chameleon. He'll do it. If it was even the real Putin that was out there, that guy was so giddy in Alaska. My sources tell me that wasn't because he was too scared to get arrested. He didn't trust it, and they sent in not the real one. I'm hearing the real one doesn't even travel to most places because of that. So,
Because he's shitting his pants. Yeah.
well,
That's
yeah,
another conversation for another coffee and tea with Lev and Dean episode on a Saturday, is this whole fucking multiple Putin thing. And I know that you know things. I know that Alex knows things, and you guys just take it for granted while the rest of the world's like, wait a second, are you serious? There's more than one Putin?
yeah, yeah. I mean, especially, I mean, this was always it wasn't just Putin. It was always a KGB, always as part of a dictatorship program. I mean, there's always body doubles, and that's how they control. Because one of the things when you're a dictator, remember you control the what's it called minority. So you're
Yep.
always in the fear of being taken over, killed. You always have escape plans where like all of them, like Bashir, all of them, you have to have, other dictators that will take you in if you have all of this. This is the type of stuff that you do. So, one of the things that they have body doubles. But what transpired with Putin, especially after COVID, during COVID, Putin isolated himself to such a degree that for a certain period of time he didn't even see nobody close to him, and even that psychological that goes, hits, and he started sending out, making even more body doubles after that. So, from what I'm hearing, and then after Prigozhin, I mean, his own people tried to kill him. So what I'm saying to you is the more and more I'm hearing from my sources that most of the places you see him, especially in Alaska, it's not Putin. These are all body doubles, like where you see him in Belarusia with on the front. With that wasn't Putin. You know what I'm saying to you.
Yeah,
And if
he's
you
not going to put himself. He's paranoid as fuck, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. And if you really take a look and you start, what's it called? And the reason why they're able to do it, because over there they already control the media, they control all that, so it's easier for them to push. That's why right now we still can't do that here in the United States. We're still at the beginning of it. That's why we need to try to stop it before it gets
Mm,
any further. Because that's why what's the first thing that Trump's going after is the media. He's
yeah.
going after the sources, the resources to be able to bring people what it is. Because, next thing is all of a sudden Trump doesn't feel that well, but all of a sudden you still have a giddy Trump running around playing golf. You don't know. You're not standing next to him. You don't know how far that's part of
Well, and you don't know where those golf videos came from. You don't know when they were recorded. You know, they
Right.
repurpose video all the time. They said that the other day when they requested they either that hey, listen, the chaos on the streets, it's in videos that you can see, and they were called out on it and admitted to actually putting out fake AI videos from other years of different skirmishes, Black Lives Matters back during the George Floyd thing, painting that as Portland as a crime zone or and a war zone, which is not. To your point, I mean, it's the perception and the reality that they're trying to change with everybody, right? That's to your and it's
100%.
easy to do. It's easy to do for these guys.
100%. Because the reason why it's easy to do is because they have the machine
Yeah,
that's out there doing it. Oh, that's I'm just okay. So I get up. One, we have my sister wanted to come up. I don't know if she still wants to come up. If she
your
wants to come
sister.
over, yeah. Well,
Oh, let's
this
bring her
right
on.
there.
Let's meet
It
another
might,
Parnas.
yeah. If she wants to come up, if she, Lulu, you want to come up? Would love to. Come on, Pegs, come on up. Is
What's your
Pegs
name,
like,
Peggy?
no, that's Pegs is that's not my sister. Pegs is one of our subscribers to both of us. She's great.
Stephanie Younk wants to come up too. If
Oh,
you can
so
see
where's Stephanie? I don't is that
Stephanie
her?
Younk, Younck. It looks like.
Let's
So you
see,
can find her.
Let's see. Let's see if I can get Stephanie.
Yeah, let's bring another person on. I fucking love this format. When we get better at understanding how computers work, we'll be better at actually running this kind of program as well.
Bear with me, guys.
I would love to come on, but I'm coughing away with COVID. I'm sorry.
Stephanie Wang, you said WANG?
No, Younck.
Oh,
Stephanie, come back into the chat so we can
yeah.
get your handle. You got it?
Yeah, no, I don't have it. Yeah. It's easier for me if you could type something this way. Once I see you, I could hit on you because it's hard to find me there.
Yeah. I'll keep an eye out here real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, she's gone. Maybe she's gone. There's Cheech. Cheech is still here. Says he's wearing leather pants. Would love to see that, Cheech. Would love to see that. All right. But well, maybe what we do, if I can.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, you got it? You got Stephanie?
I know I got my sister for now. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's bring her on.
Stephanie, if Stephanie. Let's see. Maybe it's a Saturday. Everybody just doesn't, is just relaxing and doesn't want to come up and have over 1,000 people look at them.
Yeah, it might be a little intimidating for some. Which you know what? Why don't we do this then? Why don't we do this if it's okay with you?
Yeah.
This has been an absolute pleasure. We'll wrap it up. We'll come back, and you and I are going to work on a format and the tech that makes this easier for people just to come on in. I have a few programs and concepts and ideas, and we'll get your sister on. We'll do a Parnas family coffee and tea with Lev and Dean. And next week, we're going to work on refining this process and bringing more of you onto this show, visually onto the show to talk to us, to rant, to rave, to get shit off your chest, to ask questions, to be affirmed, to get information that you need, and we'll do it in this conversational manner. But let me just say this. This has been the best Substack Live experience that I've had in a long time. And not just because of my friend Lev Parnas, his information, his knowledge, and willingness to impart that on us, but because we got a chance to answer some of your questions. We like to talk. We're talkers, big talkers, and we like to talk all the time. And sometimes we forget that it's you that makes this possible, that is you that is the lifeblood of this. And the more that we connect with you, the happier I am. Talking to Cheech today, having so many people like Stephanie, Twyla, Lisa, so many different fucking beautiful people, smart people come in and be affirmed to hear the information that they need to hear to get that kind of truth. And so that we can connect with you. Thank you. The only way we can do this is if you subscribe as we build the resistance together. As we move forward together, free or paid. I'll tell you something, the paid subs that have chatted here with us have been so incredible. And this is your opportunity to do it. You can do a monthly, you can do a yearly, you can do a lifetime founders plan. We both have those. And I've got a couple of deals coming up, and I know Lev's value for whatever you choose to do to subscribe to Lev Remembers and my friend Lev Parnas is the biggest value on Substack right now. And he puts his life on the line every single day to be able to do this. So to have this literal conversation with you and to allow people to do this as we continue to grow this community has just been incredible. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hammer those hearts. Make sure you hit that little box with the arrow, share this, and hit that Chiron at the top. It's a great button. It says Lev Parnas and Dean Blundell. That'll automatically subscribe. You do it now. Don't go anywhere. We've got 1,100, 1,200 people in this chat. Hammer that thing and subscribe, 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 share, 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 gift, gift, gift. But more importantly, thank you for your time, everybody. That was good, dude. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for doing this.
I had a blast, and I love this new way of doing it. And everybody, me and Dean, like Dean said, we're going to put together, and we'll have a couple of these where, again, to participate, all it takes is a button and a free subscription. Doesn't take any money, doesn't take any effort, and you're part of the family. And then what that enables you to do is a couple of things. A is all of these things. By the way, do you are you hearing something in the background? They're mowing the lawn next door.
No, I don't hear any
Oh, the,
lawn mowing, but I
this,
like that
these things,
sound, so I'm good.
these things are perfect. I love it. I thought, yeah. So I was gonna say by being part of the community, the first thing is that's what our agenda here is to be able to get the message out, to be able to get information out. Because today, yes, you heard a lot of information, and this was one of the more easier ones where we took it easy, basically tried to relax and not try to bring that hardcore information that comes on a daily basis, because we're living in a time right now where it's really, really, it really is scary. It's not a joke. It's not hyperbolic conversation. It's not something where it's some if you don't do nothing,
It's
it's
real.
gonna change. It's real. It's real. Real people are dying overseas. Real people are going to be without food, are starting already, are not getting paychecks. We're already starting to see airport shutdowns, people in certain areas of our defense not getting paid. We're starting to see SNAP benefits, that once one of the things we spoke about that's being trying to be taken away. So there's real consequences. This is not just a conversation. So when we go out there, we say, please join us, build a community. We're doing that because one of the only ways we're going to be able to make a change is to grow loud enough and big enough to be able to make a difference.
Mm.
And that's why we do it. That's why we come out here. Believe me, it's Saturday. I have a lot of kids. Some of them are standing right. Some of them I could tell you are standing right now behind this phone right now and screaming to me, "Dad, get
Dad, let's
off!
go."
Let's go! Let's from football practice to go." But I feel it's important. It's important because not only are we a family, but the information that we're trying to provide to you, hopefully that each and every one of you passes it on and passes it on and passes it on, and then we could make a real difference. Because the whole key of it, the one thing we could all agree on, we might disagree on all policies, we might disagree on all kinds of different things, but the one thing we all could agree on is that we want a better life for our kids. We don't want war. We don't want to go out this and this division. We want to stop this division, and we want to unify our country back. We want to stop, going at it with each other. We want to be able a football game is on a Sunday. You go to an arena, spend 3 hours screaming your head off against each other. But the great part is once it's over with, once you leave the stadium, you're all back family. You're
Mm.
hugging, kissing, you forgot you're at the not now. Trump has turned this into an everyday event where we're at each other's throats. So that's what we need to stop. And the only way we're going to stop it is by building this community, by making sure our voices are heard, by making sure you spread it. And again, for those of you that can become paid subscribers, this is just the beginning. We're learning our technology, and we're going to make it more interactive and more not only informative, but also give you a little bit more fun way to be able to come up get stuff off your chest, ask
Yeah,
a
lighten the
question.
fucking mood a little bit too, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And the more we learn with this technology, the more we'll be able to give back to you guys also, because you are the backbone to be able to allow us to give this information to everybody. So, I want you to enjoy your Saturdays, enjoy your weekend. There is stay
Thanks
tuned.
for having
So
coffee and tea with Lev and Dean. By the way, we
definitely,
really enjoyed it.
absolutely. Here's my tea.
Here's my
You could
coffee.
make sure you subscribe to me, indeed. And I will tell you, look out. I am going to be putting out a Substack letter either later on tonight or tomorrow with some breaking news having to do with Venezuela and some other stuff. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you look out for it. And Monday, I think we'll have an interesting show to talk about. What we talk about.
The weekend roundup, Monday.
The
That's when
roundup
I will
Monday.
see you next. That is Lev Parnas. Subscribe to Lev Remembers at levparnas.substack.com, deanblundell.substack.com. Thank you for having coffee and tea with Lev and Dean, and we will see you on Monday, buddy. You have a great weekend.
You too, my brother. And
Talk to you soon.
let's go Blue Jays.
Go Blue Jays. Game
You owe
7.
me if they win, I better get a jersey.
Oh, dude, I'm sending you a jersey even if they lose. If they win, I made a bet with somebody. I said I would fly down to Washington and pin a Canadian flag and a Blue Jays flag on the White House fence. So I might need some legal counsel.
I'll come with you. Well, let's
Okay.
go together. I'll come with you.
I have to do it now. Thanks for doing this, dude. You have a great weekend. Go Blue Jays. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it, brother. Right.